Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going over a strategy from Serious Backtester. Have to give him credit for it because he's the one who made it, and it's a very simple strategy, but if you want the full video, go to his YouTube channel. He'll explain everything. And he uses Thinkorswim. I use TradingView to visualize charts, so I converted his indicator pretty much as well as possible to TradingView. Um, and so this is what we got here. What you'll notice is this is just a rate of change for the last 14 periods with a moving average and like this other line below it. It's a very lagging line, it's a very slow line, it's about 200 periods, and what this line does essentially is it's a standard deviation multiplier of the last 200 periods of the rate of change. So if we look here, this uses our 14 period rate of change with a standard deviation period of 200, so it's calculating the last 200 periods of the rate of change, and using a standard deviation multiplier of that rate of change times 2. And I also added, for convenience, a moving average of 5 to the rate of change. So how this strategy works is when the rate of change drops below the standard deviation, it is considered extremely oversold. And what this means is that you can trade these. These are often, sometimes people call these inefficiencies in the market. It depends, you can call it whatever you want, but it gets to a point of basically being very, very, very viable. So what I do here is I look, and the rule he came up with is the rate of change must be or was below recently, so let's say within a few periods, let's say 5. And the rate of change must be greater than the current rate of change period must be greater than the last period and greater than the last 3 periods. So if we look here, if I zoom in, this little dot here, if we look back, it is greater than the last 3 and the last 1. So that would be a valid entry. So I'd enter, and plus it's above the moving average now. Actually, it'd actually be this one, right here. So I'd be entering right here. Now what's your target? He uses an ATR based target. It's going to sound really strange, but he's using an ATR based target of 1 for the take profit and 2.5 or negative 2.5 times ATR, which sounds unreasonable since that would be a negative risk to reward ratio, but it is. But the reality of that, this strategy is finding moves that are so overly bearish that it's actually fine to use such an extreme rate of change, or not rate of change, ATR. And if you watch this video, he'll give you evidence of that because in his first video, his first version of the strategy video that he made, he pointed out that this strategy was optimized for this specific ATR. He ran tons of tests and he came to the conclusion this is the very best ATR. So we're going to set my target right there and our stop loss right there. And as you can see, that was a winner with about a 1.6% gain. This is in gold, by the way, so that's actually some solid stuff. But it exploits the volatility of when the market is extremely bearish. You can do the same thing for the S&P 500. Note, on certain assets you will need to change different things. You could probably keep the rate of change period roughly the same, but you will need to change the standard deviation period and the standard deviation multiplier, and the moving average can be incorporated, if you would like, into the strategy of your own preference. But it works great on any asset. See, beforehand, the rule was you would enter the strategy upon the stock dropping 20% or to negative 20 on the 14 period rate of change. The problem is most assets don't drop that low, especially blue chip stocks or the S&P 500 stocks, and certain other assets would never get to that level. With this strategy, it can be traded with any asset, no matter how volatile it is. It just exploits the certain volatile cases of bearish price action of that specific market. So this is TMO. As you can see, you would have gotten a buy signal probably here, and I don't think that would have won. Yeah, it might have. Check. Right here. Yeah, that would have been the buy signal. It doesn't look like, no, this would have lost. So that would have been a 5% loss, but this one over here, on the other hand, would have been, that's squared in the last 3 periods, so that would be a valid entry. Set the target to here, the stop loss to here, and as you can see, that would have been a winner with about 3% gain. And again, this strategy is solely based on high win rate because again the risk to reward is so um, abnormal. But it's such a great strategy if you're day trading, swing trading, and even investing. This is like go to the S&P 500 on like the weekly or monthly charts. You can find some great entries. Like it timed that entry about to perfection. Then again, I mean, can an indicator time things? No, but in this case, it timed that certain instance. COVID-19 drop, it would have been an entry somewhere in that area. What was this one? This is the 2019. That was the 2020 drop. This is the 2019 drop. It did pretty good there. The 2016. Just some great entries for investors if they're interested. This would have been the oh wait, I think this was the housing bubble. So it would have you would have entered here. You might have won some trades there, but right here you definitely would have won some. But overall, it's just an incredibly great strategy. Try it out, and if you want to use this on TradingView, use the um, code in the description. It'll take you to a link. You can use the code there. Just plop into TradingView's Pine editor, and you can just use it. If you want to see the original video, look up Serious Backtester. Great channel, great stuff, and it's fully automated. And so he literally cannot. It's like one of those channels that you know is authentic because he points out the actual percentage gain that he's getting from the strategies that he's testing. So yeah, but really check out his video. His video is the one who started. He has optimized it. He uses the best of the best settings for all the indicators that he's using, stop loss, take profit, etc. It's a great channel, so go check it out. That's gonna be all for this video. Thank you for watching.